Welcome, everyone, back to the Business for Builders podcast. My name is Max Peterson. I'm joined here again by Alex, who is one of our franchised operators. Welcome, man.
Hello again.
Today, we're going to just knock the lid off of a subject which I enjoy because it helps me make money. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be doing this. I love what charity organisations do, but unfortunately or fortunately or whatever, we're not in that business. So we've got to feed our families somehow. So today we're going to just quickly chat about how competing on price is probably not. It's definitely not the motivation that we have or we use. We want to sell value,
yes,
first and foremost. So, we're going to chat about a couple of things, competing on price, how that fear can sort of can keep you broke. It's fear is a thief. We're going to talk about preferred client profiles, which we focus a lot around, and we're going to talk about selling with confidence. So, what about you just talk to us really quick? Because I know you're a great student of the business. You're a great student before I met you. And I'd love to just quickly chat about preferred client profiles. It was interesting just before we come on, we started to record this. I actually took a retail phone call out in the reception area because this is our head office, is the call center. And the first thing lady said to me is, "Oh, wow, I didn't really expect to talk to a human." And so, just give me I use the term preferred client profile. That's very specific and it's strategic. We do that for a reason.
Yep.
Give us introduce us to your version of preferred client profile. Give us a rundown.
Okay. Well, again, as usual, I'm going to start off with just kind of pre-priming your brain with the fact that there are people out there who will respect you, who will value your service, and who will pay your price where you can make a profit. So if you think that those people aren't a good profit, yeah. There are those people out there. It's just they're a lot harder to get to, and that's part of our process. Is you have to define your client profile.
And to back you up, it's transactions happen as a natural consequence of delivering value.
Yes.
So there's clients out there that like the value you give, which enables you, because you transmit the value and you deliver the value, they're happy to pay the premium. It's like they're buying a Ferrari.
Exactly, but you have to make sure that person understands all those things, and that's where you got to sit down again. The last podcast we talked about there is setting your goals of where you want your business to be. Well, you kind of have to do the same thing with your clientele. If you figured out where you want your business to be, do you want a 250, 1 million, 5 million, $10 million business? Well, you have to find what type of clients you have that will be able to sustain that business, and then you reverse engineer from that client profile. So our client profile is the busy professional who is looking for somebody to kind of take A to Z from the project A to Z, to design the plan and give them all the information they need. So that's kind of where the client profile is very important as well too, because you can't sell someone something that they're not going to see the value for. So it's very important to understand that your client understands what they're paying for. They're usually the people who respect their home. They see the long-term value in their home. So,
and to your point, there's a lot, and I mentioned this to the lady this morning, is that we are a one-stop shop.
Yes,
that's valuable. In other words, Mr. Builder, you're going to provide that service. Well, I will pay for that service, essentially. So if you're a builder that just says, well, you get me a set of blueprints and I'll give you a quote. Like that's where you end up competing on price.
Exactly.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build around, we want to find the need and we want to fill it.
Yes.
So we go, okay, what am I going to do in my building company that separates me from the other guys? And so this is where we go, okay, we highlight our preferred client profile and we go, okay, that's 45 to 70 and they're professionals and semi-retired folks perhaps. They value service and quality, not necessarily price focused, which again, that really works towards our ultimate goal of actually running a high performance, highly profitable building company.
Yeah.
So, obviously once you sort of define that and you've got that sorted out, what else helps you in the process? Like, what do you do when you go out and see a professional? Like, how does the first phone call happen or the first meeting? Let's say the first phone call is fairly basic. what's your objectives in that first meeting with your preferred client profile?
Well, it's very simple. We offer a product and service that solves a problem. So we just, the more you can define that problem, and solve it, that's that what you mentioned earlier, transactions happen
As a natural consequence.
Yeah, so if you deliver value and you're trying to actually help this person solve their problem and come up with solutions, they will be glad to pay your prices and get you to do the work, because you're coming off from a position of help and solving a problem, instead of just worrying about how much you're going to make, getting the job done as fast as possible, and all the things that come with bidding a job. When you bid a job and you're not sure how much money you're going to make, and you haven't bid enough price onto it, you're going to be rushing around trying to make.
What are the two or three things that, let's say we talk about the wall of distrust?
Yep.
It's up.
Yep.
And we're going to go into that in another episode about why people act, or, say the things they say, which is just uneducation.
Yeah.
Or they're uneducated. But what are the couple of key things that you would find that meeting after meeting after meeting, the initial first meeting, let's say, what are the couple of things that you've got to constantly cover off with clients? Like, is there some commonalities between client A, B, C, and D that you always find up, you circle back around, you're like, okay, this is what we do. Like, is there some stuff, some commonalities?
For sure, yeah. Usually is the client who has hired a previous contractor. Okay. Usually they're the ones who kind of realize, they've been through the experience of hiring somebody they weren't happy with. I've had numerous clients who've hired supposedly, quality companies that they just weren't happy with the delivered service that they got. So, it's really up to the client. With what they're expecting.
What do you say? When you're talking to them, what do you talk to them about? Because I know that you often use the fact that there is, corporate offices here in the north end of the Okanagan.
Yeah.
You often use that. What are some things that you would say to move the focus away from price and increase the perceived value? What are some things that you've done with clients?
For sure, yeah, because there's a lot more important things than price to a project. So a lot of people are concerned about the quality of the people coming into their home. When you're doing a renovation, most of the time, somebody will be living in the home, right? They will be there. So
this is a concern of theirs.
Exactly. So imagine your home, and you're gonna have basically invite somebody in there if you're going to do a larger scale renovation for the next 2 to 3 months and larger. So there has to be a personal relationship. These people have to treat the home with respect. So people are concerned who value their home. They're concerned how you're going to treat their home.
So what do you do to help prospective clients get to know you?
I give, we have video testimonials, which really help. Mm-hmm. And then as we started this podcast, like I said, that we ask questions. So I start by asking them questions. What are their problems with it? I will go into the renovation and the actual physical problems, and then I will ask them about their problems of the management problems. Have you dealt with a general contractor? Do you understand the process? Because some of them start from scratch and don't have a budget and no concept. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand those people are looking for all the information.
So if you're aware of that, if I'm in there, obviously let's talk about touch points.
Yeah.
You know that you can't just have that one meeting and all of a sudden they just trust you through the roof.
For sure.
It's why we say 8 to 12 touch points is really what it takes to do a deal.
Collect 8 to 10 points, mm-hmm. and then you should be in good shape to start negotiating and making some offers, because you've built the trust and the rapport.
Because people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And so it's just over a period of time. So is it advisable at any chance you get to either touch base via a phone call, an email, like there's some just you reporting back to the clients? Yeah. That's obviously going a long way to developing that relationship.
For sure, yeah. Don't spend, your whole career on fostering a lead, but, we have time allotted. We have a system where is that, but there's a psychological process where you can, put your time and energy, and if you're delivering value and offering that client, solutions and options to solve their solutions, they will pay for our services, and they will continue to use us, because we're the ones who are solving their problem and giving them value. If they hire a contractor who just tells them that they have to go look out in plans, they have to hire a designer, they have to do this and they have to do that. Now there's a type of clientele who likes to do all that kind of stuff themselves.
I wouldn't say that's the majority, but
that's not the majority, because the majority of people now, especially who are doing large scale renovations, are busy people. They have, the world is changing. Kids are moving back home. People have kids, families, and, housing prices. Not everybody can afford a brand new home. They like the maturity of an older neighborhood. So these are concerns that you have to dig out, because when your project is complete and you haven't solved their problems, they're going to have a hard time paying you. So you have to, the DS has to be a well thought out, so it's like a kitchen reno. If somebody is telling me they hate cooking in their kitchen, when I'm done a kitchen reno, they can't leave the kitchen, because it's a well thought out, well planned design where the kitchen operates and functions flawlessly.
So tell me what you do in those first couple of instances where there is comms between you and a prospective client, new client. What do you do? What's some qualifying red flags that you perhaps look out for, you've heard?
Yeah, pushy clients who don't, showing lack of respect, clients who are not, if you're showing up, if you decide to book a meeting with a client and they don't show up and give you a warning, kind of the things that you would do if you were to do, you would expect a client to not be happy with you. If a client does those things to you, you have a business to run and you have to stand up for yourself and you have to put your foot down in those situations. I like you're saying is a really easy one to digest. It's firmness with courtesy. You just inform the person, you tell them, what the point of contention you might have. And almost every person who's reasonable you'll be able to come up with a solution with. Now there's a very small percentage you won't, but if you have a system and you stick to that system, then that person will eject themselves out of your system and you will avoid a lot of your problems. If you just stay true to your system and you don't allow your customers to knock you off, the tail doesn't wag the dog, right? That's right. You have to follow your system. You have to be strict with it, because some of these projects we do are we can lose our shirts if we miss something and we rush something, yes. Right? We're offering a fixed price contract, which we're guaranteeing. So in order for us to deliver that, we need the time and the resources to put together the information.
And this is all fine, when we're talking about, because I often, the fear of missing out on a project or whatever, that's a thief. Fear is a thief, but fear does keep you alive as well.
For sure.
Like it creates some safety.
Motivation. It is a motivator.
And I guess there's guys and gals in our audience that are going, okay, that's fine, but if I was to qualify too hard, I'd have no clients to work for.
Yeah.
So I guess and I'm aware of this is a bit of a loaded question. Obviously we talk a lot about top of funnel. And so, everything that we're doing really is being set up it's very holistic. We don't say, pick a preferred client profile, qualify, lead them through the process. Don't let the buyers buy according to their process, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you've got nobody to talk to because your lead gen tool is not really working, this is not going to work for you, right?
Yeah.
And this is why we come back. It's not something that just you can pick anything out individually and it works. It's actually the suite is what creates the momentum in your business.
Yes.
So it's no point in then going out and spending $1,000, a week on Google AdWords and having so many leads you don't know how to process those.
Exactly.
So this is what's so hard about doing it in a 10 or 15 minute podcast. It's just, I think this goes back to what we talk about learning styles, is that the greatest form of, learning where it does impact the student is on the fly in real time.
Yes.
So this is why it's sort of, we talk about, we don't want these guys and gals to compete on price, but you've got to make sure that your top of funnel's full because you've got to do something to feed your family and pay your bills.
Yeah.
So ultimately we want you to sell with confidence, but we don't want you to be irresponsible and arrogant at the same time.
Yeah.
And geez, I don't know how to wrap this one up, but we.
What
are your final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The process and how you because I'm going to give the example of the car set. The car sale. When you go buy a car. Our industry as well too is most of these people when they call us have already decided to buy, right? They're just looking for somebody to walk them through that process.
Yeah, which dealer am I going to go to?
Exactly. If you're not going to walk them through that process and you're going to do the bare minimum, that person is going to go and hire the person that's going to give them the service. And now where what we've been talking about is the value. If you explain to them the value in the proper way, they will pay the prices you're asking because you've explained the value to them, so they will appreciate it. So yeah, like I say, like customers, there are customers out there. You just have to understand that there's a process and how to foster them, and they will be your clients, and they will be great clients. Is you just have to solve their problem.
All right. I think if you want to avoid competing on price and you want to make more money, I would say be motivated by these three things when you're thinking about your preferred client profile. Your clients want peace of mind, they want security, and they want satisfaction.
Yes.
Go and sell in that light. Go and figure it out. Think about your clients. Empathize. Think about what you'd want if you're an uneducated homeowner who knew nothing about the general contracting world. If you work on your marketing message, you work on your sales process in that light, you work on your delivery method along those lines, I think your business will be better, you'll enjoy doing it, and you'll make more money.
I agree.
All right. If you've liked what you heard, subscribe, share this with somebody who you think might benefit from it. We'd love a follow. And if you've got any comments too, or you've got any questions about what we've raised today, be sure to email me at max@businessforbuilders.ca, and I will respond to your email and try and give you some help out and some insight. Have a great day.